Hey guys, I have not posted. This is gonna be Will, by the way. This is gonna be on the fucking gaming channel because I never use this channel. Uh,
Incredible,
s-
incredible intro so far.
I know. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Um, I've never posted a video on Gavin2360 Gaming with live commentary. I don't think. Every video that I've posted on there has just been like an edit of an old video or just the old video re-uploaded on there. So this is the first time I'm actually using this channel for something gaming related and new. So today it's really late. What, it's 9:51 p.m. We are less than 12 hours away. Most reasonable people would have made this predictions video earlier in the day, or at least released it earlier in the day, but we're doing this
But
late.
we are not reasonable people.
We're not
We
reasonable
have other
people. We didn't think
we have
about this ahead of
lives.
time. And we
That
still
too.
wanted to throw our hat in the ring before it's over for us tomorrow. I think this will be the direct of the decade.
It's gonna be. I'm very excited because I think this is like the first time in a while that like there hasn't been many major leaks leading up to, unless I'm just fucking unaware.
I haven't
But
seen any. No.
yeah, there's been no major like leaks for like any upcoming games, nothing like to really build off of other than like small screenshots and like reasonable predictions going into it. So this is exciting. It allows people to theory craft more and think a little bit more of, uh, I wonder if they'll do this or if they'll do that. What is this hardware capable of? It's very interesting because it's been since the Switch was announced as the NX, what, back in like 2016, 2015. It's been a while. It's been almost a decade, but we are here now.
Was there any like project name for the Switch 2?
For the Switch 2, I don't believe there wasn't any like
No
I
Project Dolphin. Ugh.
no Project Dolphin, no like Project NX. Also, that makes me very happy that you know what Project Dolphin
Of
is.
course I know it. It's iconic.
It is very iconic. Yes.
There is
Or
nothing
the
that
or
it sounds
the
more hype than saying Project Dolphin.
that or the Nintendo Revolution, which was the original name for the Wii.
I did
A
not
little
know
bit of
that one actually. Yeah.
little factoid for you. But yes, uh this is very exciting. I'm very excited. And this is also a very impromptu predictions because, well, we kind of got a spitball because besides maybe two things, we don't know what the fuck is going to be on this
We
thing.
know it's the only things we know. Mario Kart X is what I'm going to call it. That's my predictions. And maybe we'll talk more about Mario Kart, but Mario Kart X, that's my name for it.
Hmm.
And is that's it, isn't it? Because Prime 4, Tomodachi Life, and Rhythm Heaven are confirmed Switch 1 games.
And they're more than likely, well,
Almost
except for
certainly going to be cross platform.
beside besides Prime 4, because we don't know when with the Switch 2 does not have a release date yet. But it's more than likely going to be released probably near the holiday season, if I had to guess. Tomodachi Life is in June, right? I'm not crazy.
Tomodachi
I'm
in
made.
June? No, it's next year.
Oh, it's next.
There's
Fuck,
no
I'm
release
stupid.
date yet. It's just 2026.
Yeah, okay, okay, sorry. For full context, I barely watched that direct.
Yeah, no. I spoiled all of it for you except for the
You
Tomodachi
spoiled,
Life part.
except for Twitter, and I blame Twitter for that. But
Yeah.
okay, so all we know about the Switch right now is bigger, pretty much bigger everything.
Is this
There's a
video.
new,
we
there's
have
the
we
video that
have
we have pulled up
and
right
I realize
now,
I've had it on the fucking original Switch Joy-Cons and everything. We know the hardware, we know we've got a kickstand, we know we've got
which looks
bigger.
miles better
Is
than
this
what we
the
had
is this the
before.
size? The size difference is gonna
Yeah.
be
Oh, it's gonna be.
fucking
I feel like it's
crazy.
gonna be like comparable to like the
A
Steam
Steam
Deck.
Deck, yeah. I hope it's not as heavy. I have a Steam Deck. It's heavy. It took me a long time to get used to holding it.
Oh, there's a
Ooh.
brand new button right below the home button
Ah,
on the right
well, that's one of my
Joy-Con.
talking points. That's one of my talking points. That's gonna
Oh
be
yes,
the mysterious C button. I don't know if I'm excited, but I it eludes me what the fuck that could possibly be.
it's very. I don't know because if you on just like a first glance, it looks like the screenshot button that's on usually on the left Joy-Con,
But if you
uh,
look right here, it's
but
right
if we
there.
look on it's right there. So we nobody knows what that button is.
Let's go ahead and let's guess. Let's put our guess in the ring right now. What do you think the C button is, Will?
All right, I have to put the meme shit I saw on Twitter aside real quick.
The
Like the
what
fucking
the
the C
Pokemon
button.
Coliseum button?
Yep, that's the exact one I was thinking
It's
of. It's I love it because I love Coliseum, but also
the
I would
Pokemon
like
mix Coliseum.
real talk. Like, is it actually have a C on it?
It does. That was
Okay,
confirmed on Nintendo Today. I have to pull up a picture. Nintendo
okay. So while you
Today
do
C
that,
button.
I wonder
Yeah, on the
because
marketing, they did
there's a
confirm
C button.
it is a C button.
Okay, so a simpleton based on context clues, which is like, oh, that's like a connect to the internet button.
Connect to the
I
internet.
think I
Nah.
think so. Here's what I think. I think that like you know how Steam and Steam, you know, if you press like Shift Tab while you're in a Steam game, you get the Steam overlay.
Yeah.
I wonder because I'm pretty
Oh.
sure Xbox and placed Xbox Series Series X and even just the regular Xbox One, PS4 and PS5, I'm pretty sure you can access some sort of overlay while you're playing, like in-game overlay while you're playing. That's like similar to a Steam overlay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that button is like Nintendo finally integrating their own similar overlay.
But why is it C? Are they gonna name it
That's a
something like?
fantastic.
Are they gonna name it like? So something in the vein of PictoChat, not PictoChat, or like Miiverse, right? Like
Yeah.
what do
I,
they call this?
that's
The C verse? I don't know.
Seaver. Maybe I don't know. This is also just me spitballing because we don't know much. But I'm thinking like, if this is Nintendo, like with the Switch 2 finally matching up to hardware that was last gen, unfortunately, even though like there's so little difference between every generation of consoles nowadays that really who gives a shit. I don't. I just like playing fun video games. But like, if this is Nintendo finally catching up hardware wise, perhaps like that's why I came up with like maybe they're going more like, okay, here you can access some kind of overlay. Here you can like, oh, you can post like screenshots or look at like maybe join your friends who are playing a certain multiplayer game. Like if you're playing Mario Kart, you don't have to like go through a bunch of menus in order to do so. You can just press one button while you're in game in Mario Kart. Go to your friend that's playing Mario Kart, and then just like Steam, just join them there.
That would be really awesome. I
Again,
don't think
knowing
that's what
this
it's.
is,
I have a
I
different
don't think
theory.
that's what's going to be either. But I think it would be cool.
Would you
But
like
what
to
do
hear
you
my
think?
theory? Okay. I
Go ahead.
think I think it's gonna be the most redundant button ever because I think that button means controller. I think what they've done is made a button that brings up the connects the Joy Cons or the
Oh,
controller.
like the controller,
Yeah, I feel like they
okay.
just want a shortcut to that because it was always a little out of the way. Like you're like, oh, I'm in Smash Bros. Or I guess Smash Bros. Is a bad example. Oh, I'm in Mario Kart, and it's like, oh, I can't. I have to connect this controller real quick. That's a bad example too, isn't it? Because that one doesn't. It
Well,
doesn't matter. There are
no.
some
It
games
is.
where you do have to go out of your way to pair something. Uh,
Smash is actually a good example because Smash is really the only game on the Switch besides Mario All Stars that has more than two controller options because you have the GameCube adapter.
that's right.
So your point still stands. Like you still have to like go if you want to change up controller order, or even just like Mario, if you're playing Mario 3D Land, if you want to change the controller order, then you have to go through the menus, which yeah, makes total sense.
So this button making a shortcut, I think that's a possibility. If they were
It
smarter,
being
they would have just made it like another way to get to it from any game. I don't know. I feel like there's a way around that to make it easier to get to
I,
without making it its own button, but maybe not. I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm also kind of with you and just like I'm worried that it's gonna be the most redundant fucking
The
button.
most like, oh, okay, nothing new here. We were all
Like
excited for nothing.
it's about as useful as the HD rumble that was in the original Joy Cons,
Yeah, and the
which will
fact that they
probably be
didn't.
in these.
I mean, like, would they have shown it off in this if it was something cool? Probably. If it's what you
Probably
said, probably not, because
probably
this
not.
didn't show any like online interface or anything like that. It
At
just showed
most, this
Mario
just
Kart.
showed what the console looked like, and oh, here's Mario Kart.
I also
Sorry,
is there a button
I,
on the I don't know if it's on the back. Is there a button to disengage the
yes, there's a but
magnets
there's a oh to disengage the
or
magnets.
like to unplug the Joy Cons, right?
I would
Like,
imagine so because if it's not a magnetic lock, then it would be way too easy to remove the Joy Cons from the system.
is that trigger? No, it can't be the trigger. I don't
No,
see
that was a
one.
button.
Yeah, that was a ZL.
You get one like good look right.
It's really hard to.
Uh,
It's really hard to. Okay, well here's you see there's no like button like there was on the other
maybe
Switch.
it's a trigger instead of a because that little nub on the side kind
Well,
of looks like a trigger.
that is you're right. That is a different thing than ZL and ZR. So maybe that's it.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
really easy to hit on accident. I think you're gonna accidentally wishbone your fucking Switch and the screen's gonna fall to the floor.
That would be very funny. Hopefully, it's a lot more
Yeah,
intuitive
maybe
than
it's
that.
very solid, sturdy. You have to forcefully take it off, and the other
I
one
would hope.
locks if you try to. I don't know. I don't know.
I would hope so. Yeah.
But so that's hardware talk. Is there any other hardware talk? There's no other mystery to this. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a slightly bigger Switch.
It's a slightly bigger and more powerful Switch, which most people are saying is on the same specs of a PS4 Pro. Which to all of the Twitter people out there that are complaining that it's not the same as a PS5 and the current Xbox, to that I say, did the PS4 look bad? I don't think so. Moving on.
Did the PS5 have games? I didn't think so.
I didn't think so. Okay, yeah. Other than that, I don't really have hardware questions.
Hardware,
I'm
that's pretty
sure
much it. Hardware, we know everything.
we
It's
know
no
everything.
nothing
It,
behind the veil,
I
except
mean, if
there is talk about like how the UI would work. I'm really hoping they bring back.
I want folders, please bring back folders.
Folders is one thing, but like actual design, custom
Oh,
homepages.
yeah, yeah. I kind of want that. I want themes back, man. The 3DS
I just
themes
want
were
like
fucking
I want a
cool.
more unique home screen. I think the home screen on the Switch is just a little too flaccid. It's
It's
very
it's it's very sterile.
yeah. It doesn't really pop.
Yeah, I
PlayStation,
agree
their
there.
home screen right now, I love the PS5's home screen. I get to look at Persona 5, and that's an Astrobot, and those are the only two games I have on there. And I'm like, man, this is a nice home screen. I go back to the Switch, and I'm like, okay, like nothing moves. It's all motionless, gray. That's it. So they got to do it. They got to make it more flavorful, because like
Yeah, yeah.
every other Nintendo console has had a little bit more flavorful.
God, I love the 3DS.
I mean,
The
yeah, the
3DS
the DS and
is.
well, yeah, I guess the DS didn't, but the 3DS and the DSi and all those had a lot more interesting. Um,
Yeah,
they could do anything. The sky is the limit with home designs. They just got to
yeah,
do something. So that's more of
yeah.
a wish list than a prediction. Do I think Nintendo's going to do it? No, I think they're just going to
No,
like slightly
they're
upgrade what they've got, and that's it.
they're gonna make the sharper edges round.
Yeah, bubbly. No,
But
that's a very early 2000s thing.
I would.
We are square, and we are it's the same thing they do with McDonald's. Is it's gray and square. All right, that's the thing. That's the
It's what
modern
big budget
design.
it's what big budget companies think modernizing logos are
Yeah,
is.
that's what we're doing now.
But yeah, I would say the last bit on hardware. If you know like what controllers and like what shit's available for the current Switch, it's probably gonna work for the Switch too, or like it's gonna be very similar.
Do you think
But
they
yeah, that
fix Joy-Con drift?
you would hope,
Oh,
and
you would
and
hope.
I'm not gonna say I mean the most reasonable person in me would say yes. I really hope they fix Joy-Con drift because frankly, as somebody who primarily plays games on controllers, even on PC, drift is the most annoying fucking shit imaginable, and is part of the reason why I stopped playing a lot of Switch games in handheld because and maybe this is my fault. I played a lot of Smash in handheld mode, and so maybe I'm at fault for my left Joy-Con having some of the worst drift I think I've ever seen. But uh, will they fix it? Who knows? I would hope that they listen to consumer feedback and fix the drift because this is another brand new system. It's going to cost a lot, and I don't know. I just hope there's
We
no
want to
drift. But
start
if
on the
there
right
is,
foot here, right?
we want to start on the right foot. You don't want to do like you don't want to pull like a white Xbox 360 where half of the consoles didn't even fucking work.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
that's
Let's
all I'll
let's
say
move
on
on to
drift.
the game talk. We've talked enough workshop here. Let's get to the obvious first thing to talk about. Let's talk about Mario
Marrow
Kart.
or
I am so excited for Mario Kart. If that was the entire presentation, I would be satiated. I would be happy and fine. Because I mean, I was fine the other day when the entire presentation was just Tomodachi Life, but now it's like, holy fuck! After what 12 years, we're getting another Mario Kart.
and not to say Mario Kart 8 was bad. I mean, the booster course pack literally
Oh, it
what it
was
puts the total of the
god
it puts the
tier.
total amount of tracks like over 100. I'm pretty
I
sure
no, I think it was 96,
96. Okay,
which
but
is
yeah,
so high, and obviously I don't even want 96 tracks in this
I
game.
don't think they're going
They
to do
won't
that.
do it, and I don't want them to do it. I want a clean 48 tracks. I think that is doable. That's what they did last time, but it was just a port. I think 48
Yeah,
tracks would be exquisite. New art style, 1,000 characters. I think that this will be the Mario Kart of all Mario Karts. It could be. Actually, I don't know anything about the game, but that's my dream, right?
the dream is that I mean, the dream is that
I
it's a
I
step
do
up from
have
8.
I do have one uh I have one fear. There
Hmm?
seems to be kind of like a theory that this game is going to have like a fuel mechanic, and I don't know how
Hmm.
much I like that. I
I
don't.
will say this much: I think fuel mechanics in any racing game do not make sense unless you're playing like a racing sim. If it's a
Yeah.
kart racer, you don't need that level of
See,
realism. And maybe it's balanced to a
maybe,
degree.
but with people noticing that a lot of cards have a little bit more obvious gas containers, which is hilarious for Mario Kart, and also there seems to be in this trailer right near here, there's this glowing thing over here that no one seems to understand what that is, but people think it might be fuel. I would not like that. Please, no, thank you. Just make that fun new power up, or the theory that that's a wonder flower. That would be so cool. If this was
Yeah.
Mario Kart Wonder, wouldn't that be insane?
Yeah, you would it would be funny too because yeah, I would say the wonder effects are kind of similar to what they showed off for the new Sonic racing game,
True.
which
I did see the trailer for that. That it is
yeah,
quite
for Sonic
literally
Racing
the.
Cross World. But yeah, it would be cool. But I don't know, man. We know it's coming. It's more than likely going to be a launch title because
Oh, it has to
when is
be. I
when is
mean,
Mario Kart have
if
been a
it's the
launch
first
title?
game they announce, what was the first game they announced on Switch 2? Oh, I
Breath of the
guess it
Wild.
was. Well, Breath of the Wild was before Switch. Sorry, Switch One. Uh,
Oh, it was.
I
Then probably
I think it was technically Mario Kart
I think it
8,
was Mario Kart 8.
which I guess wasn't a launch title, but it was close enough.
It was close enough to
But either way,
launch.
the Switch 2 needs a launch title, and if it's not Mario Kart X here, it's gonna be something bigger and better. I gotta hope, right?
Yeah,
So
and I
it's
kind of have an idea of what is going to be that bigger and better at
I
launch.
think I know what
But
you're gonna say, but you know what? Go ahead, say it. Let's move on. What do you gotta
oh,
say?
I guess we're moving on from okay. I
Sure.
was just saying
Unless you had another Mario Kart thing to say.
I was just saying like, uh bring back Toad's Factory
Oh God,
and
yes. If they don't
make
bring back Toad's Factory, I am going to blow a gasket, man. It
I need Toad's
they can't
Factory.
not bring that back. After all
I
this time, they only have so many retro tracks to choose from. It would be insane not to.
Yeah. Toad's Factory, we we Bowser Castle
And Dry Dry
and
Ruins from Wii as
and
well. Those are the three
and
Wii
Dredge.
tracks.
Pretty much every most half of the special cup tracks in
Yeah.
that game. But
Those are the only three that haven't been brought back, other than the Luigi Circuit and Mario
and
Circuit.
Mario Circuit. But yeah. Besides those, all I ask is that Dry Bowser and Funky Kong are in the
Oh
roster.
yeah, Funky Kong especially. We just got him back. They better keep him back. We better have the same. Just they finally got the roster with the Booster Course Pass. Let's just have that. I don't know any other
Yeah.
characters we need to add. If you want to add Goomba, add Goomba. That's cool. But like,
Give me Monty
don't
Mole.
don't axe it and don't go crazy with like baby Donkey Kong or anything.
Yeah.
Like
Remove Baby Rosalina.
maybe get rid of Pink Gold Peach and Baby Rosalina. That's okay.
I will say
We're gonna
one
need
thing
a
I
lot
do
of
hope.
characters. It's a 24 character race. It's all but
Yeah,
confirmed.
I would imagine that if they do bring back some of the characters they brought back for the Booster Course pack, hopefully they have some new voice lines recorded because uh, King Boo, Dry Bones,
Yeah.
Funky Kong, Diddy Kong, Birdo, they all just
I
reuse
want to
all of the
say
Wii.
I agree with you, but there is I really think it'd be funny if we kept Dry Bones' crusty ass sound bites. I think it would be so charming just because it fits for the character. I think
It
just
fits for the
crusty ass
character,
bones. It makes sense that it's crunchy and old.
but you could tell it's such a low quality
It's
audio file.
wonderful. It's so fun. It's so good.
It's
But
so
everyone else,
bad.
absolutely. I think with the new
Everyone,
art style, it's 100%. I think Charles Martinet is out. I think Kevin Afghani's in for the
yeah,
good
more
lot
than
of these
likely.
characters. Donkey Kong's going to sound. I don't know what Donkey Kong's going to sound like, but he ain't going to sound like our old regular Donkey Kong.
Oh,
I'm very excited to hear. Have we ever heard Kevin Afghani's Waluigi?
no,
I don't think we
because
have. Yeah.
we have not because the last Mario Striker, I think Mario Strikers was Charles Martinet's last game.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yes,
So
and yeah,
So no Waluigi. So this is that's something to look out for. I'm excited.
well, yeah, yeah. All right, that's all my Mario Kart talk.
All right.
Now
What
for the
is your
game.
Go ahead, say 3D Mario.
The ironic, it's funny you say that. That is on my list, but I
That's
was
not
actually
what you were
gonna,
gonna say. Okay, go ahead. What are you gonna
I
say?
was gonna say, I was gonna say Prime 4.
What?
I, I, I know it says 2025. The release is 2025, but I feel like Prime 4. It looked, and I understand there are some great looking games on the Switch, but like Prime 4 just looks like it's on a whole nother level, dude. Like that's a level of like
Will
Breath of the Wild.
they
How the
wouldn't have
fuck is
put it
this
in the
going?
Switch One Direct. They wouldn't have put it in the Switch One Direct. They did. They put
Ah,
it in the Switch One Direct. That was the whole point of the last Direct. Was that was the Switch One
ah,
Direct. It's
but you don't.
cross-platform. I would not be surprised if they did
Hold on,
use
hold
the
on, hold on,
Switch
hold on.
too.
Hold
Okay,
on.
okay, go, okay, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they do like a Breath of the Wild, and it launches on the Switch One, but it's also a launch title for the Switch Two.
I mean, I could see that, but unlike Breath of the Wild, right? Metroid Prime, as great of a series as it is niche. It is not a system seller. It would be if it's second fiddle to something greater and grander. Absolutely
Mario.
best launch of all time. Yeah, if it's right next to Mario Kart, greatest launch of Nintendo's history, right there. Switch had at launch was Breath of the Wild and 1-2 Switch. So
Dear God.
so this would immediately be like, hell yeah, we're kicking things off right. But Prime 4 being the launch title, I don't I could see it. Like I do think there is to give credit to that theory, the fact that they still haven't announced a release date or even a release window, despite saying 2025, is crazy. I was so confused by that the other day. I'm like, just give us a time period. But if that is because they're coinciding it with the release of the Switch 2, I completely get why. If they had said June, everyone would have been like, oh, that's when the Switch comes out. Because we all know the Switch 2 is probably going to come out in June. That's the best time for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I do think that that's very much a possibility. But I think it has to be secondary.
Okay, okay. I mean,
Now they
I
might be
thought it would make
stubborn. They
sense.
might be stubborn about it and say this is our game. Play our game. You're gonna play our game. And we'll be like,
Mm.
okay, okay, Daddy Nintendo, we'll play your Metroid game, but you better give us Mario Kart in a week. And I'll be like, oh, okay, okay. Who knows? We'll see what happens with that.
We'll see what
I do
happens with
think
that.
it. I mean, yeah, I do think it's cross-platform. I can totally see how it was recorded on the Switch 2 for a lot of those trailers. I can understand that. It looked really shiny and cool. But so did Luigi's
Mhm.
Mansion 3, and that was on the Switch. So who's to say?
Mm. All right. I'm just excited. I'm excited for Prime 4. So I just wanted to bring it up because I felt like it would make sense to do like a cross
Yeah.
platform release. But all right. The thing you thought I was thinking before.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, it's on
I
my
actually
list. It's on your list. Let's
I
discuss the 3D Mario in the room.
yeah, it's very funny that you said that first, and I was like, well, that is on my list. In fact, it's right underneath Prime 4.
It can't not be on the list because it's time, you know? It's just time. It's a general understanding. Every every console needs its Mario game, and if there's no confirmed Mario game on the console, you don't got a real console. So, I don't think it'll be a launch title. I think it'll
Uh,
be so just like Mario Odyssey. The Switch came out in March, Odyssey came out in October. I think that is very likely. Again, I think holiday release Mario.
mhm.
But what is the game going to be? Will it be a sequel or will it be a new game?
See, the nostalgia homer in me wants to say, "Oh, it'll be a sequel for Mario Odyssey or Mario Galaxy 3," which is never going to happen, but a man can dream. But honestly, I really like the trend that Nintendo has gone for as of late. Like with, I know 3D World is more of an expansion of 3D Land, but sticking to more original ideas rather than doing sequels, which I think works better for 3D Mario. Besides, with Galaxy 2 being the exception, that is my
Yeah,
favorite game of all time. I am very biased, but uh, I think they're going to do something original because I feel like if you start off with a sequel to something, I think you lose a little bit of that wow factor because I mean, I think Mario Odyssey was a very good showcase of what the Switch is capable of and how uh like Mario as a series like Mario as a series or gameplay wise can adapt.
I
So
think
I'm
especially it's like if you're doing a sequel, there is immediately like, hey, it's recognizable, but I'm going into this game kind of knowing what to expect. The sky is not the limit. I have preconceived notions about what this can be. But when if it's a new game, they introduce you something that you've never thought of before. You're seeing Mario in a completely new setting, a completely new context. Your mind just races. There's so many possibilities. Your hopes get just go nuts, and you're more excited than ever to play that game, which is what Odyssey was for
yeah.
me. It was one of my most hyped games ever. Seeing that trailer, I was like, "Oh my god, it's New York! Holy shit!" Monkey City. It was so great, dude.
Monkey.
It
Yeah,
was
no,
wonderful.
I remember I mean I was there. I remember when I got my Switch for Christmas. I remember the very first games I got for it were Smash Ultimate, obviously, and Mario Odyssey. And I think I played Odyssey for, and shocking for me at the time, I played Odyssey first and loved every minute of it, except when okay, I have one little side tangent here. I sincerely hope that they don't do completion requirements like Mario Odyssey did for the next game
What do you mean
if it does
completion
happen.
requirements? What do you mean by that?
Like 100%ing the game, getting every single power moon in the game.
Well,
My dear friend,
they
do
don't
you know how
force you to
many?
do that.
I know they don't force you to do that, but for Mario games in particular, I am a completionist. I like completing them.
And you
Even
didn't
if my
enjoy the 999 moons?
No, I did not.
Well, I highly disagree. I loved the 860 moons because it was only 860. Uh,
I know. But
I
like
loved them. That way, like it was just I could just keep playing forever. I loved that. Now, here's the thing.
listen,
And this is what you're gonna say. I'm gonna say it first.
uh-huh.
I want them to be more substantial, right?
That's my problem.
There
Like
are
so
so many moons that were not substantial. I'm not saying I want 860 moons, Will. I'm saying I want more than 120.
That's fair. I'm okay with that. My problem with Odyssey, and you probably already know, comes in the fact, and that it's really my only problem with the game, besides I wish that they, the selfish man in me wishes that they like added like more substantial DLC. The balloon popping is fun, but I was hoping for
I
a
was
little bit
expecting
more.
more worlds. Like they were teasing
Yeah.
us with the Isle Delfino world, and that never happened.
And then it never happened. Yeah, that was my thing. But like my main problem with Odyssey, the only problem I have is that so many of the moons, they're just not. It's not. They're not fun to get. It feels like padding. It feels like a lot of them you're just repeating a lot of the same things over and over again. Some of them you're not even doing anything. It's just, oh, I need to find Peach and what is it, Tiara in a random spot. I'm like, oh, do
Yeah,
that like for every single moon in the fucking game. Every not moon, every single world in the game. There's like the boss refights are fun, but uh, I kind of wish like in the Galaxy games and 3D World, I wish there's like some kind of boss rush because there is no boss rush that I remember that or I'm misremembering.
I remember.
It,
What was the dark side of the moon? I mean, that was kind of a boss rush, and it's like, no, but wasn't all the
you
bosses. It was just some
it
of the
wasn't
bosses.
it was the brutals.
It
It
was the
was just all
brutals,
the
which is
brutals.
like
But like,
6 good fights.
eh, I I just want them to like narrow it down, put more focus into original missions, and then make sure the other side like lesser missions they're still fun, but they don't take away from the main course.
Ooh, I guess that kind of brings us into the should it be a Mario 64 type or a Mario Galaxy type 3D Mario?
Hmm.
Should it be
I
more sandbox or more tight level?
I th- it's weird. It's interesting you mentioned that because uh Odyssey was the first game since Sunshine where you had that kind of sandbox kind of level design.
Hmm.
Even though in Sunshine it's kind of hindered because, at least for the story, you have to do the shines in a specific order. But you still had those open worlds the like open levels to explore and find the shitty blue coins. But uh it's I would think that you had a good thing going with Odyssey with the sandbox. Stick to the sandbox and for like I'd say keep maybe for a different title. You go back to the more linear affair.
Mario 3D World 2. Well, actually, that's the
I
thing, right? Is they with Bowser's Fury, a lot of people were like, "Hey, that's the demo for the next like massive 3D Mario. Should it all be one massive open world?" And if you ask me, I say no. I don't want it to all be one massive open world. I like Mario Odyssey structure a lot better, where it was a bunch of open small worlds.
Yep, I don't disagree there. I like it when it's more like you it this is going to be a very out description, but like Sonic Frontiers
Yeah,
kind of does what Odyssey does. It's multiple open. Granted, the Frontiers levels are much larger than anything Odyssey has, but the nice thing when you have multiple larger levels to explore is that things get more condensed. You have much more things to see and explore within the smaller area you're given. So, and I think a lot of people like that kind of structure because it always keeps them engaged. There's no like there's little downtime is what I'm trying to get at, which a lot of open world games fall into that trap of, hey, it's a really big open world, but there's a lot of dead zones.
yeah. It's gonna be tough. Like I think Nintendo being Nintendo, they're gonna do something we don't expect. I don't think that they're
Hmm.
gonna like. The problem is, I want them to make another game like Mario Odyssey, but I don't want them to make Mario Odyssey 2 as much as I did used to want that. I want now that we want a new game, I want it to be as good as Odyssey, but I'm expecting Nintendo to make it different, to stand out. And to stand out, it can't be the same structure of gameplay. It has to be
You see
somewhere
something,
different.
yeah.
And I can't imagine that. I can't possibly begin to imagine that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, but I am hoping that it's more of an Odyssey type than a Galaxy type, and I'm glad you agree. I prefer the sandbox Mario. It's my favorite genre of video games. Sandbox Mario specifically. That one
Hmm.
guy. But yeah, so I mean, they are. What are we thinking the chances are of 3D Mario announcement tomorrow? 100%, 99%.
I'm gonna give it like a solid 70% chance.
Fair, yeah. It's way more likely than not.
Yeah,
It
because
would
it's
be
been.
weird. They'd have to have if it's not 3D Mario, it's something else gargantuan. I mean, you know what they
Mhm.
announced in the last in the Switch's first direct? They announced Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey. They announced Metroid Prime 4. Look where we are now, baby. Obviously, Breath of the Wild was still coming out. They announced Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I think,
Yep.
and then just a bunch of other things. Maybe even Mario Tennis Aces. I don't know if that was announced then. A lot of just so much, and plenty of like. I think we could expect some solid indie titles too. Like I would not be surprised if they hit us off with a Red Dead Redemption 2. If they hit us with the Halo series, something like that. People keep saying Halo. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see it. I see the vision here.
Hmm.
Portal. They already did Portal, didn't they? But
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Silk Song, huh? It's right here in the corner.
You're
Could
funny.
it
Next.
could happen? It could happen.
Next. Next.
All right. I do have one other bullet point. I only wrote down three. One of them was the C button. One of them was 3D Mario. But the other one, I think is a fair thing for me to think is coming, and that is a new 3D Kirby game
Oh,
because
I didn't have that on my list.
it's been 3 years. I think it was 22. I think Forgotten Land was 2022, and
Hmm.
Kirby as a series used to come out really frequently, like one every other year. Um, but now they've really slowed down, and there's been a lot of ports. I think the Switch only had two new games, right? Star Allies and Forgotten Land, but then a bunch of ports.
Amidst all the spin-offs, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
sorry, and also Return to Dreamland remake.
exactly, and I played that, and it's a good game, but it's they've had 3 years now to make the next Kirby game. I think that's plenty of time for them. I think that a 3D Kirby, akin to Forgotten Land, with some cool new gimmick for Kirby to do, maybe he'll be in space. Wouldn't that be fun? Kirby in space.
Planet Robobot.
Yeah, Kirby, Super Kirby Galaxy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think it's likely. I think a new 3D Kirby is likely because 2D Kirby is also equally as likely. I won't uh, split hairs there, but I think the series has evolved. I don't know if they're
For
still going to
sure.
split them up into two different genres like 2D Mario and 3D Mario, but I think the next likeliest thing for Kirby is 3D. And I think I could totally see the next 3D Kirby being announced tomorrow. I think that would be swell. I'm very excited. Forgotten Land is a great game. I absolutely think Kirby belongs in the 3D sphere. That way you could see all of his beautiful, beautiful. I was gonna say curves. That sounds a little too sexual, but he is a circle. So his beautiful spherical body,
Kirby.
Kirby. Yeah. So yeah, that was yeah. I didn't think you'd have that one, but I totally think it's possible.
No, yeah, I didn't have that one at all. Um, I had Legends Zaza on my list as well.
Boo! They talked about that already,
I know, but I feel like it's gonna get mentioned somewhere.
and it's
If it
not going to be a
doesn't,
launch title because when has a Pokemon game ever been a launch title?
I never said it was gonna be a launch title. I was just more so I
I
had it
don't. I
on the list.
do not think they will mention it. I totally do not think they will mention that. Metroid Prime 4 is unlikely, but if it is the launch game, maybe. Zaza,
Mhm.
not. They're not going to talk about Zaza. That's my opinion. And I
Mhm.
don't think they're going to talk about Tomodachi Life. I don't think they'll talk about Rhythm Heaven.
Okay, so then I have a theoretical
Okay.
on my list. So if they were to bring back any IP that hasn't had a game in, say, let's say a long, let's just this placeholder a long
Could
time.
I guess?
I mean, I don't have anything specific written down,
Oh, you just
but
you wrote down. You wrote down.
I just wrote it down.
Bring
Like,
back old IP.
if you think, like, I think it would be a good, like, at least P, like, yeah, it might be niche, but like PR wise, I think it would be really cool. So, if you think they were to bring back like an IP that has not had a game in quite a long time, like outside of the sphere of like your Mario's and Zelda, and like even your niche stuff like
Yeah.
Pikmin and Metroid.
Ugh, don't get me started about Pikmin. And I'm a
Oh,
Pikmin fan now.
I know, but we have other things. We have there's more to talk
There's
about.
more,
But if
sure.
we
I do have an
but
idea. I do have an answer to
all right,
this.
so there's multiple ideas you could have for this, but tell me, what
My
do you think?
proposition, because I'm selfish, is Punch Out.
Hmm. Punch Out, okay.
I I don't know why they didn't do a Punch Out on the Switch. I think Punch Out and the Switch can get married. They're great for each other. You could do it handheld. You could do it on the screen. You could use the Joy Cons as boxing gloves like it's the Wii. You could do so many things.
Mhm.
And and I think revitalizing that series and like giving it a full-fledged game, like not just here, fight 1, fight 2, fight 3, fight whatever, but like giving it a story, letting it breathe, I think
Mhm.
that could be real fun. And bring Donkey Kong back and make him a fight again. Bring Funky Kong in. Maybe they'll tag team. I don't know. Give us new fighters to play as. I don't know if they've ever done that. I haven't played.
No, I think you've only ever played as Little Mac.
Yeah,
I have very limited knowledge of
there
Punch Out.
is a they could corner the market with boxing games. There really isn't a a genre for that.
Yeah,
They have
I
a
agree.
perfectly good IP right there. I think it would be wonderful if they brought that back and really tapped its creative potential.
So I would say in regards to that, what would you want? Do you think they would have motion controls as well as button controls?
I think they would. I think they would do because that's what Skyward Sword did, right?
Mhm.
HD is they
Yeah,
had both options,
you could play without the motion
but you
controls in
could play
Skyward Sword.
with, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, then yeah, I think they could do both. I think most people will opt for button controls, and they're like, yeah, motion controls suck, but the option's nice. I like the option.
Yeah, I think no, that's a good one. I didn't even think about Punch Out.
That's
Granted,
my
because it's
guilty. I just I played the Wii game when I was a kid. I was never good at it, and then I had a friend who had an actual like arcade cabinet of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I was like, this game rules. Why like? And then whenever they announced him in Smash for Wii U, I was like, hey, that's my guy. And ever since, I've been a little Mac man, and that's just because I like the guy, I like the character, I like the series. I want to see it more. It's just not around. They don't do much with it
yeah, well, they haven't done anything with it
since
since
the
the
Wii.
Wii game.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a real good one. Um, if I were to go for one that I mean, the F-Zero fruit, the F-Zero low hanging fruit is right there, and I'm not gonna take it because I know we just got. I know a lot of people like F-Zero 99 is not an F like true F-Zero game, and I was like, I mean, you're not wrong, but also I think that was Nintendo subtly telling you that they don't want to do an F-Zero game,
I think
at
it.
least
I
not
think
now.
Mario Kart is really just a nail in the coffin for that series because why would you have two different racing games being
I
published like you
I
wouldn't want that competing with each other.
See, here's what I think. I think the reason why a lot of people are like, "Oh, why don't we have Mario like F-Zero?" Waxing but is so they want what you would get from that is they want something that's more akin to an arcade racer, like very high speed, a lot of drifting, a lot of like destructive capability, over the top kind of zany like not zany, but like very over the top atmosphere, and
Yeah.
and I can see the appeal there, especially if you look at like I haven't played any of the F besides F-Zero 99 and the original F-Zero. I've looked at like gameplay of like F-Zero GX for the GameCube, and I'm like, okay, I can kind
I've
of
played
see.
the Nintendo Land F Zero minigame, and that's it.
And I'm like, I can see why you would want another F-Zero game because it's very unique. it's a very unique atmosphere. It's a very unique kind of racer.
It's a
But
cool
but like you
IP
said,
for
it's a
sure.
cool IP. But again, especially with now that 200cc is probably a mainstay in Mario Kart, I just don't see it happen.
I
I
will
don't.
say I don't think it's fair that Nintendo had two F Zero tracks and no Captain Falcon as a playable character.
That is a crime. I do
I
agree. That
genuinely,
is
and I don't
a
even
crime.
think that they're gonna try to go for third party characters in this next game with the change of the art style and everything. But if they do, Jesus, put him in the game. He could find a home with the Mario gang like Rob did in Mario Kart DS. You know,
This is
it
true.
would work. It would just
This is
work. It would
true.
be crazy, but it's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't think an F Zero game has the. It just doesn't have the, unless they have something crazy, like unless they were like, hey, we have reinvented the series because we love the IP so much. Here's F World. Here's FU.
F you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't see F-Zero. However, I do have uh I have two possibility like I have two like IPs that I think it would be cool, really cool if they came back. And one of them is not entirely dead, but I think it's about damn time he gets another game. Kid Icarus. I I played Uprising a couple years ago, and that game is fantastic. Absolute hell on my wrist. I would like to play a version of that game or just a new Kid Icarus game where I don't have to risk carpal tunnel. I think it would be cool. I think there's a lot of potential with the franchise and the way they reestablish those characters.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
And oh,
and
sorry.
there is the rumors that Sakurai is working on something on Switch, and if he's to be believed, it's not Smash Bros. So,
Oh, did he actually say it's not Smash Bros?
well, I mean, the way he talked about Smash Ultimate while in development was like, "Hey, this is it,
Okay.
guys. I'm gonna, if I have to be forced to do another Smash Bros. Game again, I am not going to be alive for it." Kind of, you know.
I will be a rotting corpse
Yeah,
by that time. No, okay, I get that. But if it is Kid Icarus, that'd be very cool because I would love another
I
game.
would absolutely love it, and I think
He,
Sakurai would love to make one. I think Kid Icarus is a series really like still very much untapped. Like it's there's so
I
much
they
world.
give all the characters so much personality. And like if you I don't know if you've ever watched them, but they did some like promotional like animations
I've seen
for
some
Kid
of them.
Icarus.
Yeah,
And they're great. They're so fun. They're so fun. And it's just like, God, I just want more. Give me more.
game's so good it got
Please.
two new characters in Smash.
Yeah. Like I don't think that can be understated that hey, this series has out of like the multitude of Smash characters we have, there is more Kid Icarus characters. Like there's more Kid Icarus characters than
Then
fucking
games.
than games. Yeah. Well, actually, no. There are three. There are
There's
three
three. I
Kid
thought there was
Icarus
two.
games. You have the original Kid Icarus on NES.
Uh
You
huh.
have Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy, and
Really,
then
I've
you
never heard of that.
yes,
Fair.
it's fine. It's an okay game.
Okay.
And then you have
Uprising.
Uprising.
So
But
they have
like,
the same amount of games as characters, and that's still quite impressive. That
yeah,
said,
yeah,
so does Joker Persona in Minecraft
so does
Steve.
Joker Persona. But like, I still think like if a series if one game was enough of a success to where Sakurai felt the need to put not just one but two characters in the game after including Pit and Brawl, I think it would be very cool to see another game, especially if that's what Sakurai is working on. Because yeah, I feel like if that man has to do another Smash game, I think he will achieve spontaneous combustion.
Do you think? What do you think Smash will be in this generation? Then, do you think it'll just be Ultimate some more, like a re-release, or just the same game untouched.
I don't. That's the thing. Where do you go from here with Smash?
Well, they do the
Because
same
like,
thing with. I think. I think any series, if they go with like the ultimate version, the next thing they have to do is downsize, but new. My point is, look at Mario Kart here. Mario Kart
yeah.
8 Deluxe with the Booster Course Pass, that is Mario Kart Ultimate, right?
Hmm.
Their new philosophy is new game, new designs, new year, new me. I think that's what Smash would have to be. Completely redesign the characters, have a smaller cast, but still decent cast.
Hmm.
New a bunch of fresh faces because the last game didn't have, well, other than the fighter passes, didn't have a whole lot of new
Right.
characters.
Hmm.
Just completely revitalize itself. Be fresh. Be new. It could totally happen. But the problem is, will it happen? Because Smash Ultimate is such a finality. And obviously Smash is an inevitable return. It's just I don't know if it's going to be this generation or not. I really
We don't
can't
know. We
say.
don't know what it's gonna look like if it does come back.
Yeah,
I get that. I feel that. Yeah.
I don't think we're getting a different Smash game. I think we'd be getting more Smash Ultimate, if anything, on
I
the Switch
I
too.
I don't disagree there. I think it would probably be more Smash Ultimate as well. Depending, it just all depends on what do they do, how do they expand, or how do they make Smash Ultimate like another fresh purchase for the masses.
They could do the story mode, but
Don't
that's not a
you
mass
don't,
appeal thing either. Now is
you
it?
don't no. I was like, brother, don't make me laugh. That ain't happening. I mean, it could, but not while
If they
Sakurai
put
is in
half
charge.
the budget that they put into those goddamn trailers, into the story trailers.
We might we might have gold. Unfortunately, tis not the case. But uh yeah, it it's all up in the air. I really think they're just going to do Smash Ultimate again, but like, oh, there's more stuff, there's new stuff in there. Maybe give a Smash run. I don't know.
Well,
But
we are running on an hour now.
okay, I have
What are your other bullet points?
uh I was just gonna say we don't have to talk much about it, but Star Fox, I think Star Fox deserves another chance.
Yeah, poor child.
Or
I don't
child,
I don't need
but
it, but sure, throw him a bone. Throw those
I'm a
poor kids a
bone.
bone.
Yeah. All right, and my last thing, so that we're not running over an hour. Um, what does Switch Online look like? And I think the main thing I want to look at is I don't know what they call it, but like the what I would call the virtual console
Ooh,
on Nintendo
I know what
Switch.
I think it's
They,
gonna be, but what is your thoughts?
I was just gonna do they keep it the same as the base Switch? And if you ask me, I think that's okay because they really came into their own at the end of the Switch's lifespan. But I would say, do they add a new console
Okay, that is
to it?
exactly my thoughts. I if they changed it, if they're like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go back to the Wii U's Virtual Console, that would make no goddamn sense. It would be
Especially since
them
it's
throwing in the towel and saying we were wrong. They would never fucking do that.
no, and it's the same. It's literally the same model as every other. It's like still the same as Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation
Yeah.
Play. You still got to stay in that kind of market. But I would think if they're gonna bring it back, if they're gonna bring it back in its current form, because you're kind of running out of NES and Super Nintendo games to pull from. Bring in GameCube or DS games,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would quite. I don't know if it would entirely fix the issue Nintendo has with emulation, but it would at least make the games accessible again
Yeah.
and
Do you
illegal.
think they go as far as to do the Wii as well?
Uh, maybe down the line.
Yeah.
I
That's
wouldn't say
true.
it's
That would be
immediately.
yeah, because they wouldn't do all three at once.
Yeah,
I
and
think
also
I totally think GameCube is inevitable. I think that is the next thing they do.
yeah,
DS is weird. I know they're already doing Game Boy stuff, but like DS is gonna be a weird console to port because DS games were made differently than Game Boy games. They had different goals, you know. They're
yes,
doing two
but
screens. That's gonna be weird to translate.
I mean, not necessarily, because Capcom has already found a way. Capcom and Konami has found a way to make the dual screens work in emulation.
Yeah,
As long as it's just you need to have options. That's the main thing.
yeah,
But if they do DS, but GameCube, it just makes too much sense. Not it just makes too much sense to do it.
yeah,
And then Wii games, they've already proved that you can mimic the Wiimote and Nunchuck with
yeah.
the Joy-Cons,
Totally.
thanks to Mario Galaxy. So I think that could also be an inevitability. And
That
it
said,
would be
the
cool.
we would kind of have to be where they stop because if they did Wii U games, they've already ported 90% of them to the Switch.
Yeah, yeah. That I think you stop at what's considered retro, and unfortunately, I don't think the Wii U is considered retro
Yeah,
yet.
so the Wii would be the end of it. So that's probably they'd
You
probably do
would,
the Wii halfway through the Switch too, and they'll do the
yeah.
GameCube. But so do we think that tomorrow they're gonna say, "Hey guys, GameCube games"?
I don't think they will because they didn't announce the NES and Super Nintendo games
Well, they didn't. They didn't even announce Nintendo Switch Online until like a year and a
until
half
like a
in.
year and a half
They were
in.
all free until then.
Yeah. So I don't think they will, but who's to say? Who's
Yeah.
to say?
I would love GameCube games. I mean, that's the thing. I do already have like I've made myself a giant collection of all my GameCube games I want to play, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to play them on the Switch to go. You know, Luigi's
Hmm.
Mansion. I mean, we already have Sunshine on the Switch, but Donkey Konga. Just think of the possibilities here.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if they do DS games, then the Ace Attorney series is going to take off, and then maybe we'll get a new game. I don't know. It could happen.
Maybe, maybe.
Uh, I have a couple ideas. I didn't write anything down, but when I was talking about Kirby, I thought of Yoshi. I'm like, man, it has been a while since we've had a Yoshi game now, hasn't it?
Yeah. Crafted World was the last one we got.
And that was a Switch One Direct uh, announcement, I do believe. Uh, so
Yes.
I would not be surprised if they do another Yoshi game.
You're
I'm
Yeah, but I'm out of talking. That is the end of my list.
so.
I got nothing else.
We don't think Donkey Kong? Do we think Donkey Kong?
Not while Retro's working on Prime 4.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. And then of course there's the big series that we've just neglected to mention once.
Oh, Zelda?
Zelda. Do we think? No. Here's the thing. I'm not asking. Do we think a Zelda game's coming out this year? The answer to that is no. Are you
No.
crazy? But then again, Tears of the
No.
Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom was a hard game to make, but
Yeah.
were they fully? They could have been cooking something else in the meantime, you know. I'm gonna go back to what I said first. There's no way in hell a Zelda game's coming out this year. But could they announce a Zelda game tomorrow? Because if you think about it, Tears of the Kingdom was announced, what, 3.5 years before it came out? 4 years before it came out, almost?
Yeah.
They could totally announce a new Zelda. And it would be, honestly, if you remember, both, was it the Wii and the GameCube, both had fake Zelda trailers that just never saw the light of day, or were just like basically just like invented and not real games, you know. I'm not saying they do that tomorrow, but I'm saying they're if they show a Zelda game tomorrow and the game comes out in 5 years, I would not be surprised. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So do we think I think there is a 10% chance of a new 3D Zelda announcement tomorrow. Because, it's good for Nintendo to cover their bases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus 3D Zelda is next because we already have the 2D Zelda this generation. Because Echoes of Wisdom happened. And we don't
This is
talk
true.
about that game much anymore.
I kind of forgot that game existed.
Yeah, I played the whole thing, and it is
uh,
a forgettable game. But, yeah, I think, do they ever, this is just another passing thought, do they ever announce Pokemon games and non-Pokemon Directs anymore?
to my knowledge, no.
Okay,
I can't remember the last time that had happened.
good. Because, uh, Zaza's already coming out, and it'd be so fucking weird if they decided to make Gen 10 this year as well. But Pokemon games have historically been released every 3 years. I think the only time that train was broken was in games were released 2 years apart. And this isn't counting. This is not counting sequels. This is counting the generations. I think generations are every 3 years, and they have been since they first started. And this will be that third year since Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the first time we don't get a Pokemon game within 3 years, or a new Pokemon generation within 3 years. And that's like a good sign. That's the best news I've ever heard.
I'm inclined to agree.
Like they're cooking. They're taking their time to
They're letting
make
the
a
shit
game.
cook in the oven.
Because they were we caught them with their pants down time and time again. They're embarrassed. Maybe they learned. We'll fucking see. Right? We'll fucking see. So I don't think Pokemon will be there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But should we say it? Just say rapid fire what we've said is gonna happen tomorrow. Mario Kart's gonna happen tomorrow. 3D Mario is gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe Prime 4, right? Very maybe a Zelda, but probably not. They've got to have something. One of the random games we said, either Yoshi, Kirby, Punch Out, or Kid Icarus, right? One of those four,
Yeah,
or
Star Fox.
or Star Fox, or an equivalent secondary IP from Nintendo has to get something. And it's got to be something else, right? We are very Mario heavy right now.
Yeah, we were very Mario heavy.
Which, to be fair, the Switch 1 Direct was very Mario heavy. Oh, I guess we've never talked about, are they going to just do a new IP? They could totally just do a new IP tomorrow.
They could, yeah, this is true.
Splatoon, ARMS, all new IP. Splatoon wasn't Splatoon was actually very late in the Wii U, but still. ARMS was close enough to a launch title. It came out like a month after the Switch came out. What if they do ARMS 2? 2 arms.
2 arms.
2 arms. It could happen. Or they could do Nintendo Land 2. They could do a lot of things. There is. Oh yeah, I guess Nintendo Land is a good example. I guess. What is the Pac-In game? If 1-2 Switch is considered the Switch's Pac-In game, despite the fact that it never was a Pac-In game, weirdly. Do we think they're gonna have a new original one-off Pac-In game?
Probably could. Who's to say?
Nintendo Switch Sports Resort.
Now that would be fun.
That would be something. Well then, I think. I mean, they're probably gonna hit us with a Fire Emblem. If they don't hit us with something anime, But if it is an anime, I'd rather it be Fire Emblem, right? What was the last
I
Fire
wouldn't
Emblem game was Heroes
engage.
Age. What was the one that was the multi-haired guy?
What?
The multi-haired guy. Sorry, multicolored hair guy.
Yeah, that's engage.
Engage. I thought that one was called Heroes. Heroes is the mobile app, isn't it?
Heroes is the mobile game.
Yeah, I'm not great at Fire Emblem. I asked for it for Christmas.
That
I didn't get it. I am not a Fire Emblem fan, and that's my mom's
that
fault.
was that was
Um,
released in 2023. Three Houses
was 2019 or 2018? One of those
was
2 years.
was 2019.
I was right the first
So,
time.
still a little while until we get another Fire Emblem game. If you ask me, I think we need. If anything, give me a remaster. Give me a
Yeah.
remaster of Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance. But other than that,
I
I
think
have
though, Xenoblade could happen. We are getting X Definitive Edition like soon, if not already. We got it. I haven't been checking when that comes out, but it could happen. They make those games. They turn those games over fast. I know 3 only came out in 2022, I think, but
Mhm.
they turn those games around fast. So would not be shocked if they did something, announce it tomorrow. Otherwise, Pikmin 5, as much as I would love that game, it's not coming out anytime soon. It takes them a while to make Pikmin games. Luigi's Mansion 4 would be so goated. It's not happening yet. That is a few years in kind of game. Have we touched every IP now?
I think we've gotten to all of them because I
Are-
have nothing left to talk about.
There is a lot of people that think they're gonna say Persona 3 Reload tomorrow because that is technically not on Switch, and they're buddy with Atlas, right? So that could happen.
I mean,
That'd be cool.
really cool. But like,
If they announced a new Persona 6 tomorrow, now that would be excellent.
I don't think that will happen, but you can keep dreaming, buddy.
Yeah, sure can. Sure can. Sky's the limit. Silksong, Silksong still on the table. Still can happen. Any day.
Yeah. All right. I have nothing else.
Splatoon 4.
You. Oh, I don't want this to run over and over. We are over and out.
Oh, whenever we said that, we were already at like 58 minutes. So I was like, that's already happening. I'm checking all the boxes. But no.
I suppose so. I was supposed
Splatoon
to.
4 is not happening. Let's just shut that down now. That's not gonna. That's one or two more years. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Wario World
All right.
2.